All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. This is going to be the very first face-to-face meeting between China and Biden's top diplomats, who will be talking with their Chinese counterparts. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and also the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan will be meeting with senior Chinese officials Yang Jiechi and the Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Alaska next week. And the meeting will be taking place on Blinken's return from a trip to Japan and South Korea, and it comes amidst a major U.S. diplomatic push to try and solidify alliances in Asia and Europe to counter China. Discussions are likely to focus on China's policies towards Hong Kong, its pressure on Taiwan, and also its treatment of the Uyghur minority Muslims. Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping held their first phone call as leaders last month. The ties between the United States and China had sunk to their lowest levels in decades under the former President Donald Trump. Now, Biden's administration at this point of time is reviewing the American policies towards China as the two superpowers are trying to navigate through some very frosty relations. Earlier last month, Antony Blinken had spoken with Yang over a phone call and said that the United States will stand up for human rights and democratic values in Xinjiang, in Tibet, and also in Hong Kong. Now, Antony Blinken also said that if China insists that it is not violating the human rights of Uyghur minority Muslims in the Xinjiang region, then it should provide the world access to the area. Rights groups have said that China has detained more than 1 million Uyghur minority Muslims and other minorities, and actions the United States has deemed to be a case of genocide. Now, China, for its part, has denied the allegations of genocide and has said that the facilities in the region in which over 1 million Uyghur minority Muslims have been held are actually vocational training centers. And China claims that it is doing this to counter the threat of terrorism. Meanwhile, the meeting, of course, has come after the United States is due to hold its first ever leaders meeting of the Quad grouping of nations, which includes the United States, India, Japan and Australia on Friday. The Quad meeting is being seen as a part of the American-led effort to boost its diplomacy in Asia to try and balance China's growing clout. Now, experts say that the timing of the meeting sends the message to Beijing that the U.S. alliances are still pretty strong and Americans are reaching out to more nations to counterbalance China. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.